How do the wealthy get wealthy and how do they stay wealthy? There's a book called What Would the Rockefellers Do that was written by a good friend of ours, Garrett Gunderson. It talks about using trust to keep money in the lifelong legacy of the family foundation, using life insurance as one of those tools. It talks about two families. One is the Vanderbilts and the other one is the Rockefellers. You see, the two different families have two different legacies. The reason being is because they both use two different strategies to generate generational wealth. The Rockefellers, what they essentially did is they used life insurance and a trust to essentially continuously leave that legacy for the rest of their life. They have $360 billion of family net worth that is still attached to their name. The Vanderbilts, on the other hand, all you hear about is the University of Vanderbilt. The reason being is the Vanderbilts spent all of their money on things. See, the Rockefellers, what they did is they used a specifically designed whole life insurance policy combined with a trust to making sure that the foundational piece of their wealth will continuously live on for the rest of their life. Essentially what it's called is called the waterfall method. What it means is that you take a life insurance policy and put it on every single person in the family. And then you make the beneficiary the trust of that family. So then what ends up happening is when one person dies, the huge large lump sum of the death benefit gets put back into the trust and replenishes itself. And a trust operates and works as if you are alive and you can still choose how you want the money to be even though you're 6 feet under. So basically how it works, the trust legal documents state that the Rockefellers can only use the funds for things like real estate, philanthropy, business, opportunities, investing in things that bring more value back to the world and also create more cash flow back to the family name. You see, and there's too many families, even since today's generations, that will create a foundation, will create a lifelong legacy that essentially squandered because what they do is they pass on large lump sum of money to family members. And then what ends up happening is there's one family member along the way that spends it all on dumb things, doodads, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, addictions, and what ends up happening is that family money is no longer within the family anymore because one person decided to spend it and ruin the entire generation for the family. So what the Rockefellers did was they created a bulletproof foundation to where they put the life insurance within the trust and therefore forever will create generational wealth. Versus the Vanderbilts, on the other hand, they did the complete opposite. To this day, there's not a single family member that has over $1 million of net worth to their name. See, only 50 years later, there was a family member that was a direct descendant to the Vanderbilts, even though they were the wealthiest family in the late 1800s, they went exactly penniless because they squandered it from that standpoint. In summary, I highly encourage you, get this book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? If you get this book, read it and implement it, I promise you, you will change your family's financial destiny.